With the exception of Cover-Up, if you want proof that the mid-90s suffered from a great deal of games with no creative effort put into them, look no further than Joker. Essentially shell game, but with the possibility that you can play it perfectly and still lose. Yet somehow the game lasted a solid 13 years on The Price is Right. I was sort of dreading this one. Here we go with 5 fun facts about Joker. Number 5. It's basically shell game. Like I said in my intro, Joker is essentially shell game. Eliminate whichever card you think might be the Joker and hope for the best. Shell game is so much better though. Number 4. The reusing of the Hit Me deck. According to my initial research, the Hit Me deck is the same deck used for Joker, but upon closer inspection it almost seems as if the two decks are different, with the Joker deck being smaller. Or it could just be an optical illusion. What do you think? Are these different decks? Let me know. Number 3. Drew disliked the game. Drew was not on board with the idea that a contestant could play the game perfectly and still lose. Can't say I blame him. Number 2. It is one of 2 games Drew learned that he didn't host. Joker is one of 2 games to fit this dubious distinction. The other game? The much missed and far superior poker game. And the number 1 fun fact about Joker, the game was technically retired during the Drew era. Although the last time the game was played was in March of 2007, the game wasn't officially retired until April 2008. It almost returned, but was scrapped at the last minute and officially retired after that with the leaving of longtime producer Roger Dobkowitz. Yeah, that was a tough one. The next one might not be an easy one either, but if you sit side by side with me, we'll make it through together. The mid-90s continues with a streak of essentially recycled games. Pick which side the 2 digits belong and you win the prize. Another 50-50 chance to win a prize that can't even reach $10,000. Here we go with 5 fun facts about Side by Side. Number 5. It's essentially double prices. Although not exactly like double prices, the basic gameplay is the same. 2 prices are provided and the contestant must pick the correct price. Far too simple, but with the show starting to become much faster paced, quicker games were needed to replace the classic longer games. Number 4. 4 contestants received huge bonuses. This game is distinct for having 4 contestants win bonuses of $20,000 for being the first person on stage to win their pricing game during Publishers Clearinghouse Week. These bonuses always lead to a great deal of added excitement, which is fun. Number 3. It's played in 2 locations. Prior to 2016, Side by Side was played by the Big Doors. In 2016, it started being played in a second location in front of the turntable. This is all dependent on what kind of prize is being given away and the best way to display it. Number 2. The 2019 makeover. In 2019, the game received a nice makeover. The game was modernized with a new display readout, however the word sorry was eliminated if a player loses. What do you think of the modernization? I think like most games in the HD era, it was sorely needed to keep up with modern aesthetics. And the number 1 fun fact about Side by Side, it's never been played for a car. This is likely due to the fact that by 1994, cars were regularly starting over $10,000, thus making it very difficult to add a 5th digit into the mix. Generally, if the show wants to give away a car on a 50-50 game, it will happen during double prices, such as with Bob's last show. Another rough one in the books, but I'm hoping I'll be able to make my mark on next week's review. Barker's Markers, or Make Your Mark, was yet another 50-50 game from the 1990s, but this time with an added twist. 3 markers are selected, 2 are always correct. Then the contestant must decide between keeping it as it is or giving back your bonus and switching. It was a good game that had a rather dramatic retirement. Here we go with 5 fun facts about Barker's Markers, aka Make Your Mark. Number 5. It was renamed after Bob's retirement. Unlike Barker's Bargain Bar, which retained Bob Barker's name for a brief and arguably awkward time after his retirement, Barker's Markers was immediately changed to Make Your Mark. Number 4. The new name came from a classic setting. Make Your Mark was the name of the game during the new Price is Right with Doug Davidson in 1994. Barker's Markers would revert back to this name during the Drew era. It is worth mentioning that Doug would hand the contestant a bonus of $100, only for a producer to remind him that it was $500 in a possible running gag, the addition of humor into the updated version of the show. Number 3. It bears similarity to Let's Make a Deal. The idea behind giving the contestant a choice between keeping the bonus and leaving the prize as is, or giving it back if they feel that a change needed to be made, is very similar to the basic gameplay of Let's Make a Deal. In 1994, when the game premiered, Deal was in a 13-year hiatus period, and a new version wouldn't premiere until 2003, and then of course wouldn't become successful until the Wayne Brady version of 2009, which is still on the air today. Number 2. The technical error. There was once a technical error which almost caused the contestant to be guaranteed a win. The game was lighting up when a marker was placed, which would have easily informed the contestant of a win. However, this ended up being a non-issue as the contestant still lost anyway. And the number 1 fun fact about Barker's Markers or Make Your Mark, it was retired after Drew mistook the rules of the game. In one of the more infamous retirements, Make Your Mark was retired after Drew explained to a contestant that they would win the $500 no matter what. However, there was also an argument that the staff was already looking for an excuse to retire the game, and this was simply their green light to take it away. Either way, Make Your Mark was a decent game that ended in 2008, very shortly into Drew's run as host. Freeze Frame is another mid-90s game that can be played quickly for a decent prize. Wait until your price shows up in the frame and then pull the lever. Easy gameplay, but can also essentially be dead air if your price is on the other side of the wheel. Here we go with 5 fun facts about Freeze Frame. Number 5. It has remained relatively unchanged. Aside from a very slight color difference in the background and the ring, Freeze Frame has essentially remained unchanged. Do you think Freeze Frame is due for a makeover? Let me know. Number 4. No prize can exceed 4 digits. Much like with Side by Side, which debuted before this game, no prize in Freeze Frame can exceed $9,999. Converting this game into a 5-digit version would be extremely difficult. Number 3. Split Screen. Starting in 2001, the game began using a 3-way split screen effect. With this game potentially being a slow go, the effect is helpful for keeping visual stimulation as the ring circulates. Of course, the show is no stranger to 3-way split screens, utilizing one in Range Game as well. Number 2. It shares the name with an unsold pilot. In 1981, there was a pilot for a new game show called Freeze Frame starring Jack Clark, which wasn't picked up. 1981, however, did see several updated shows including Treasure Hunt and the $50,000 Pyramid, including likely the most infamous game show of all time, Everything Goes. But that one is definitely a topic for another day. And the number 1 fun fact about Freeze Frame, it was the last game to offer a 4-digit car. It was the end of an era with Freeze Frame, as no 4-digit cards were offered after the January 24th, 1996 playing. A Ford Aspire worth $9,630 was given away, and from that day on, cars were generally 5 digits and, even at times, 6. Split Decision was a very short-lived game played for both a car and a smaller prize that lasted just 14 months before its abrupt retirement. Pull down the 3 digits in the price of the 3-digit prize and win it and the car together. Seems simple enough, but the game fell flat and ended up becoming one of the biggest failures of the 1990s. Here we go with 5 fun facts about Split Decision. Number 5. The prizes were revealed similarly to Any Number. Like with Any Number, there was a 3-digit prize introduced first, followed by the 5-digit car. The big difference, though, is that the contestant would win both prizes in Split Decision, as opposed to Any Number where the 3-digit prize is not the main prize. Number 4. The set fell apart once. In a bit of bad luck, during a May 1996 playing of Split Decision, in 3 separate moments of failure, the clock froze, a number fell off the set, followed by a second number falling off. To top it off, the contestant lost anyway. It's also not the only time the clock froze. Now that's just not the image you want for your latest pricing game. Number 3. The rules changed and then changed back. Shortly after the following incident, but not necessarily because of it, the clock was removed and instead the contestant had 3 chances to make their decision. This only lasted 2 playings, however, and the clock was brought back and nothing was ever spoken again about the altered rules of split decision. Number 2. It's the second game to share its name with an unsold game show pilot. In 1985, NBC had an unsold pilot named Split Decision that was hosted by Jim McCrell. As I mentioned previously, the last game to premiere, Freeze Frame, also shared its name with an unsold pilot. Believe it or not, it wouldn't be the last game to consecutively debut that shared its name with another show, but more on that one next time. And the number 1 fun fact about Split Decision, it was retired for several reasons. Although I personally didn't find the rules confusing, the game was supposedly retired for its confusing rules as well as its very high level of difficulty. Any way you shake it, Split Decision was not destined to have a long shelf life. It was rarely played in Season 25 and was gone midway through the season. Shopping Spree is a game that takes a previous game and flips it on its head. Nothing too exciting to add to this one, but it does have some very interesting facts that are worth mentioning. Here we go with 5 fun facts about Shopping Spree. Number 5. It's reverse credit card. Unlike in Credit Card, where the object is to spend below the credit limit, in Shopping Spree the idea is to spend above the price given. It's also similar to Danger Price in that 4 prizes are offered and the contestant must pick 3 of them. The creativity has certainly started running dry, and it will be some time until a truly revolutionary new game shows up in the lineup. Number 4. One change was made early. Originally, the price you needed to spend was shown with a digital display. For reasons I would assume because it was difficult to read on TV, this was replaced by the bright orange signs seen today. Otherwise, Shopping Spree has remained relatively unchanged. Number 3. It was removed for almost 1 year. There was a time from November 2008 to October 2009 when the game was removed from the rotation. There is no clear reason that I can find why. Number 2. It shares its name with another game show. From 1996 to 1997, there was a game show on the Family Channel also named Shopping Spree. In a bonus fact, the game was announced by Burton Richardson, who was the announcer of the 1994 syndicated version of the show, as well as a fill-in announcer, particularly during Rod Roddy's illness. And the number 1 fun fact about Shopping Spree, it is the 3rd game in a row to share its name with an unsold pilot. Yup, first came Freeze Frame, then Split Decision, now Shopping Spree. The unsold pilot was an NBC show called Shopping Spree, which was hosted by John Conte and was set to premiere in 1962. Can we keep the streak alive for the next game, or will the streak remain at 1, 2, 3? In a twist of irony, it was difficult to come up with fun facts for easy as 1, 2, 3. This simple one is just another example of a 1990s game being played quickly without too much drama. But since I'm tackling every game, here we go with 5 fun facts about easy as 1, 2, 3. Number 5. The title is purposely misspelled. Misspelling the word easy with a Z instead of an S is a curious decision among the staff. While it really hammers home the childish nature of the game, it can be confusing for young viewers who are possibly still learning to spell words. In a personal story that almost relates to this, when I was in 2nd grade, I lost a school-wide spelling bee because I spelled the word different, D-I-F-F'-R-E-N-T, like the show Different Strokes. TV has clearly always had quite the impression on me. Number 4. New music was added for this game. The Think song Clownin' Around was provided by flutist Steve Kujala. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. This song was added to the Price is Right library specifically to purvey the childish theme of the game. Kujala has lent his talents to over 130 projects, most recently for the film Inside Out 2. Number 3. It has never been played for 3 cars. I don't know why this is the case, but even on special occasion shows, this game has not given away 3 cars. Clearly they wouldn't be able to go up on those little platforms, that's for sure. Number 2. It is similar to, but tougher than, Most Expensive. The basic premise of Easy as 1, 2, 3 is similar to Most Expensive, but tougher in that if the player gets the most expensive answer correct, but switches the least two expensive prizes, they lose. Maybe it would have just been better to stick with Most Expensive. And the number 1 fun fact about Easy as 1, 2, 3, the game often malfunctions. The cards that reveal the prices on the platforms get stuck quite often. Yet for some reason, this game is still played, while games like Skee-Ball and Penny Ante are retired. I'm not bitter, I promise. But it's all good because the next review is one of my favorite 1990s games, and is one I've been looking forward to for a while. It's in the Bag is the most creative game to debut since Cover Up. It is a very tough game and has a lot of suspense, especially when getting to the later bags. Lots of fun stuff to share with this one. Here we go with 5 fun facts about It's in the Bag. Number 5. It was created by Roger Dobkowitz. The 36-year tenured staff member turned producer, Roger Dobkowitz was credited as being the creator of It's in the Bag. Dobkowitz would be a member of the Price is Right family until 2008, which is far too soon for a producer of his caliber to no longer be involved with the show. Number 4. The game's famous wall was retired in 2023. It's in the Bag is known for the giant wall that informs the contestants how much they will win at the beginning of the game. Generally $16,000, but can be higher on occasion. This wall was retired presumably as a means of saving space with the show's transition to the smaller Haven Studios. Today the cash prize is shown on a generic video wall. Number 3. It shares its name with another game show. We are back to the trend of 1990s games sharing their names with other shows. This time, It's in the Bag was also the name of a game show on the Dumont and ABC networks that ran from 1950 to 1952. One day I'm going to explore more with the Dumont network, but unfortunately most of the footage from that network has long since been lost over time. Number 2. The Low Grand Prize. Much like with Grand Game with its typical grand prize of $10,000, It's in the Bag's $16,000 seems a bit low for today's levels of inflation. With the game won as rarely as it is, it would be nice to have its total dollar amount raised dramatically. What do you think it should be raised to, if at all? Let me know below. And the number 1 fun fact about It's in the Bag, it has an estimated 8% winning percentage. I knew this game had a low winning percentage, but I didn't realize it was that low. While many contestants take home smaller amounts, the total number of contestants that take home the full cash prize is 8%. Which of course makes wins more spectacular, and only furthers my argument that the regular prize should be bigger. Well, this was fun while it lasted. Next week I'm going back to one of my absolute least favorite games in the show's history. Fortune Hunter is one of my absolute least favorite games in Price is Right history. Not only was it exceptionally difficult, but it skewed too far away from other games on the show by utilizing clues to narrow down the prizes. Let's get this over with so I can get to line them up for my next review. Here we go with 5 fun facts about Fortune Hunter. Number 5. Unique gameplay. Fortune Hunter was the only cash game that did not use small prizes or grocery items. While the attempt at diversifying gameplay is admirable, it just didn't work to create an enjoyable watching experience. Number 4. Early installment weirdness. The first time Fortune Hunter was played, the discarded boxes were simply placed on the stage. On its second playing, shelves were added to the podiums. Although I'm sure the idea was just to keep the game looking nice, having the models constantly getting down to the floor based on the outfits they sometimes wore, well, it could have potentially been a sight to see for an unsuspecting TV audience. Number 3. Music cue. The music cue used for this game was taken from the syndicated 1994 version of The Price is Right and is still used to this day for various items. A real breath of fresh air, as the show was certainly entering a new era by the late 1990s, and probably the best thing by far to come out of this game. Number 2. elements were used for a later game. Half Off, which is a far superior game, reused the concept of having a box with a cash prize in it. I'll get into that one soon enough, but we still got a little time before that one debuts. And the number one fun fact about Fortune Hunter, it was retired due to a low win percentage. Good riddance, Fortune Hunter. This game that did not fit in with so many other games on the show was retired in 2000 because it was insanely difficult and only had a 33% win percentage. With the exception of the new music, Fortune Hunter was simply a miscue, and the show moved on just fine without it.